Hey everybody, Fatty Manny back with more Remnant here. So before we go on, I'm going to explore a little bit more over this way. Because I never really did explore too much. And now that we have the Ward 13 keycard, we might be able to check out some other areas. Okay, that was weird. Yeah, see? We can go places and get a tome of knowledge. Or we can look at the monitor. That's not what I wanted to do, but electronic mail, security protocol update from Commander Nathan Haskell to all. Due to recent events, we will be amending our security protocol to require an additional photo ID check upon entry to Ward 13. Entry will still require use of personal security cards, however, an additional ID check will be performed upon entry to the ward. All security officers have been notified of the change, and the new protocol will take effect immediately. Well, that's good, I guess. Can I pick this up, though? That's what I wanted. Log. Casa. Eureka, it's taken us months, but we have finally reconnected a dreamer to Gabriel's world. Subject 2419-1 is online. The new bonded entity is vastly different from the previous one. Visual recordings are dim, but audio is greatly enhanced, so much so that our equipment cannot accurately record all of it. The new guardian is belligerent toward the inhabitants, malicious even. I suspect it shares memories with the previous guardian, consciously or not. It knows what the fuzzies did and treats them accordingly. Fascinating. Sounds like the high-ups are planning an honest-to-God physical expedition to one of the worlds. Commander Neville has requested all operation managers to submit our recommendations. Given the things we've seen since bringing Casa online, the Guardian, the root creatures, the massacres, I think it's obvious what our stance has to be. January 20th, 1968. Casa's equipment is going bonkers. It keeps resetting itself to a specific set of parameters, not just the dreaming harness, but the recording equipment, diagnostics, and even life support. The effect seems to be coming from the Casa herself, but none of us understand how that's possible. Per procedure, we've tried to sedate and reboot Casa, but that has proven impossible. The system ignores our commands for sedation. Reg tried physically administering the drugs, of course, but the system automatically applied a reverse agent. I'm concerned. If we try to overpower the system, will we end up killing the Dreamer? On the other hand, that may be our only option if this feedback loop doesn't resolve itself. We'll continue our observations for now, but after that, what happened with Gabriel and Clementine, I'm worried. They're everywhere, the root creatures from Casa's world. We were unprepared. How could we be? They attacked so quickly, Reg is dead. So many are dead. We've lost contact with Ward 16 and 17, maybe others. Those of us still alive have locked ourselves in Casa's room for now, but it won't be long before we're discovered. Oh, whoops. I went completely back out. What the heck? I don't see what that said. What the hell is happening? I don't like that. The Dreamers. They're after the Dreamers. They've killed all but Casa already. It's just a matter of time. Except they aren't pounding on our door. They must know we're in here. If they're after Dreamers, why would they leave us alone? Unless... Oh god. Casa, she's the gate. That's what I have to do then. We don't have any other choice. If we leave this room, they'll slaughter us. And if I'm wrong, well, one more dead Dreamer won't matter much. If we're all dead. Abandoned. It's done. The system fought us at every turn, and then the root creatures began pounding at the door as though they knew what we were trying to do. But it's over. She's dead, and the roots are still out there. We're preparing to make one final run for it. I don't know how far we'll get, but we'll die if we stay here. Harsgard's Dreamer was in a feedback loop too. We have to tell them. If I was right about her being the gate, then... That's it? Yep, that's it. Electronic mail. Dearest Reg, I know you're dying to learn what the government's been doing since I moved into Ward 13. There's so much to tell, I don't know where to start. The red crystals weren't anything we thought, Reg. They're not power sources at all. They're conduits through space itself. I know I wouldn't have believed it either. Wait until you see what they're doing. They've connected test subjects, Dreamers they call them, to some kind of guardian entities in other worlds. I don't mean other planets. I mean parallel worlds side by side with Earth, but completely inaccessible apart from the crystals. Ford and Harsgard, do you remember Captain Ford? Dear, he was the recruit official who visited us at the university. Have a few Dreamers on atoll offshore, and the preliminary reports sound like fairy tales. Fauns, goblins, even magic. Of course, it can't actually be magic, but it certainly feels like it, based on our current understanding of physics. It's hard to explain without being able to show you. Reg. But they won't let that happen until our transfer goes through. I don't even know if they'll allow this letter out, to be honest. It's fine. I'll show everything in person when you arrive. Our ward already has 2 Dreamers connected. I'm supervising activation of a third in a few days, Gabriel. They call him, though I get the feeling it's not his real name. I can't wait to see what he sees, to start investigating one of these worlds for myself. We're on the verge of something amazing, Reg. There's so much more to the universe than anyone thought, even Einstein. What wonders might be out there, just lying in wait for our discovery. See you soon, Belinda. Subject 2419-1, Preliminary Observations and Findings, author Dr. Belinda Marsh, Operations Research Analysis Manager, Ward 13. Abstract. Commander Neville has asked for recommendations on which world should be chosen for our first physical expedition. Subject 2419-1 is the second Dreamer bonded to the so-called Fuzzies world, but the world has changed drastically since the loss of the previous Dreamer. With a new guardian entity, a new invading species, and widespread alterations to the world and inhabitants, it is fair to say it is no longer the Fuzzies world, and it is highly dangerous. It is my recommendation that we do not send a physical expedition to this world at this time. Keyword, Subject 2419, Gabriel, Casa, Dreamer, Fuzzies, Root, Creatures. Background, last year, Subject 2419, known as Gabriel, died in the Dreamer's chair when his guardian entity was killed by the inhabitants of his world, informally known as the Fuzzies. The Fuzzies were intelligent and warlike, yet they were carrying toward each other. We still do not know why they turned on their guardian. In February of this year, we were finally successful in connecting a second Dreamer when Subject 2419-1, herein referred to as Casa, bonded to what appears to be a new guardian in the same world. We have been feverishly gathering data ever since. Preliminary findings. Casa's world is almost completely unrecognizable from before. Gabriel observed what appeared to be a massive living organism populated by small, fur-covered creatures called Fuzzies. Casa, however, sees a world covered in root-like growths with little of the original landscape visible underneath it. Fuzzies are rarely seen at all, at least not alive. The world is now populated by a new violent species of creature. It is unclear where this new species came from. We saw no evidence of them in Gabriel's recordings, but they have eliminated a large percentage of the former population in a very short time. The new species appears to be plant-based, bearing a resemblance to motile trees and roots. These creatures are violent and destructive, actively hunting the fuzzies, slaughtering them, then leaving the bodies behind while they hunt more. We believe there may still be fuzzies alive and in hiding, but given the ferocity of the root species, it is unlikely they will remain so very long. Conclusion and recommendation. I believe the fuzzies will not survive without some kind of intervention. However, I cannot recommend that a human scouting party visit Costa's world at this time. It is likely the root species will treat us the same as the fuzzies, and given the speed and ferocity with which they fight, a lone scouting party will not stand a chance, even with modern weapons. For now, I believe it is best that we continue our observations to learn what we can about this new species before engaging them. Wow. So they were running tests on everybody. Is that one of the dreamers or what? Harsgard claims he's not wrong and suggests we continue monitoring. We'll do so only if the CYA looks like we're stuck here for a while. Dr. Sato. It's Sasso. I heard a change in the audio last night. For about 20 minutes, starting at 2:11, I heard some kind of singing. That's the only way I can think to describe it. This was on top of the regular rumble and clicks. I left the tape in your office for your review. Also, be advised that I may have seen an anomaly on video as well. A brief, very faint pulse of light during the time of the audio anomaly. It may just have been an artifact on the screen, though, or even my imagination. It was very late, after all. Well, I owe Harsgard $10 for about 2 hours on April 6th, 1966. Subjects 2409's visuals lit up like the goddamn 4th of July. Dozens of lights pulsed on and off with no pattern we have yet discerned. Colors varied but remained mostly between blue and yellow wavelengths. After approximately 145 minutes, the pulsing began to decrease in frequency, and by T160 they had ceased entirely. Audio was unchanged during this time. Finally, we have proof the streamer is connected to something. Harsgard is never going to let this drop. So just a bunch of information on the backstory. What in the world happened here? In this room, please keep the air conditioner on at all times. The Dreamer's entity lives in a frozen world in some places, colder than any recorded measurement on Earth, and seems to reflect aspects of that bond. In particular, she shows physical signs of discomfort at any temperature above 55 degrees. Those working in this area are encouraged to wear layers. The Guardian came across a clutch of orphaned polis. Apparently they had been lost in a blizzard, but the effect on Clementine was unexpected. Her noradrenaline levels dropped, and her body showed signs of lacrimation. Most of the teams believes the Guardian, the Dreamer, or both were saddened at the discovery, but we have no record of Guardians ever having or eliciting emotions. If only we could record emotional states somehow. It's unfortunate that we can't speak to the Dreamers without waking them, and that we can't wake them without risking loss of the bond. New procedures. FYI, per Commander Neville's orders, we have sedated Clementine until her Nordaline levels return back to normal. I guess this is now standard operating procedure whenever a Dreamer exhibits any potentially unstable behavior. I suspect the source of this edict is Captain Ford after what happened with Gabriel. And with Harsgard about to connect a new dreamer to this clawbone entity, I'm guessing Ford doesn't want any more unnecessary risks. He's probably right. Janitor. Could someone please tell a janitor to leave the AC alone? That's the third time we've had to reboot Clementine this month. Last frame. And a bunch of weirdo symbols. Rather, I think she's shifted somehow, that she still exists somewhere along with everything else, including the poor janitor. Unfortunately, as to why I have only conjective review, Clementine's final tapes show... And in the very last frame, in one darkened corner, you can see this be Clawbone. Harsgard always described his unknown entity in fantastic terms, but what if he wasn't exaggerating? We know he brought his dreamer online at approximately the same time the Clementine disappeared after all, and blah blah blah, as I said, conjective, but blah 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 blah. Alright, well that's it. What in the world were they doing, man? Gabriel. The dreamer known as Gabriel, subject 2419, is online. Data's coming faster than we can deal with. Gabriel's bonded entity guards the literal living world, some kind of massive biological organism that houses the guardian within it. The ground is flesh and responds to stimuli. The air is thick with moisture. The breeze shifts cyclically like breathing. The inhabitants of the world are equally fascinating, small, fur-covered bipedals that we've dubbed fuzzies, for their resemblance to creatures from H. Beam Piper's novels. They seem to be sentient. They have no spoken language, but they build tools and structures from the bone-like growths found throughout their world. These observations are preliminary, of course, but they're so exciting. A new species, first contact. What revelations might we uncover? Fuzzy District. The Fuzzies have been acting stranger. At first they had a kind of god-worshipping relationship with Gabriel entity, but we've recently seen signs of fear and distrust. A few even threw rocks at their guardian. Could Gabriel's bond have somehow caused this? We've been very careful to observe, only not to interfere. But maybe the Fuzzies detected some subtle change we could not predict, too subtle for us to notice, yet strong enough to cause a violent reaction. That seems implausible. A minority of the team is concerned with this. This will affect our experiment. One team member is worried Gabriel himself might be in danger, though I've seen no evidence of that. Gabriel's vitals have been unaffected by the random attacks. A more valid concern is that the very act of observing is affecting what we observe. That may be valid, but it's not reason enough to wake the dreamer. Not yet. Uprising. Gabriel was attacked today, or rather the Guardian was. We're combing our records for any sign of provocation on our part, but so far have found nothing. Gabriel's been completely passive, allowing the Guardian to act independently. Most likely, whatever's happening predates Gabriel's bond. There have been more calls from the team to wake Gabriel, still a minority, but it's true that his heart rate rose briefly during the attacks, but there have been no other signs the attack affected him in any way. I've ordered observations to continue. We will see this through. Termination. Subject 2419 has been declared dead on Sunday, April 3rd, 1966. His guardian was killed and his body consequently suffered a cardiac arrest. We lost input immediately. Needless to say, my team is devastated. And yet, this presents exciting new information. This is the first time a dreamer has died in the chair. Tragic though Gabriel's death is, it proves the bond between dreamers and guardians is even stronger than we know. Research in the fuzzy world has been put on hold for now. Our previous observations and these log entries will be transferred to another room for study while Gabriel's chair is prepared for the next dreamer. I know we'll be back. There's so much yet to learn. What happens when a world's guardian dies anyway? The root take over. So that must have been Gabriel right there. Holy crap, this place is actually pretty dang big. Oh, so we need a key to get in there. So it looks like you can just maybe slowly uncover more and more of the story as you progress in the game. Look, there's something in there. Bandage. Well, at least I know I can break windows now. A fuse. That's probably a key item. It's no surprise there would be extra fuses in the ward. Power in there is always surging and knocking out various panels. The engineers that designed this system would be happy if they knew it had outlasted most of the human race. Well, not happy exactly, but... So, what's the fuse for? I feel like I missed something. Maybe not. Seems like there would have been something else in one of these rooms. We can go down. Research. What in the world? Research level. Huh. So this place is a lot bigger than it makes out to be. Whoa, it's like a classroom. An ammo box. Phone room. Interesting. Warning, microwave hazard. Ah, some kind of key or something. And another tome of knowledge. Can I interact with this wheel? No? Alright. And another ammo box. Nice. There's some good loot down here. Thermal control. A bandage. Really? That's all that was in here? It's kind of stupid those chairs don't make noise when you knock them around. I bet that kills us. But yeah, there's definitely something there. So there's somehow to get in there. So I wonder if I can go turn the power back off now and these doors will stay open. Yeah, see? Ammo box, Ward 13 master key, and frenzy dust. This key unlocks all locks of this type in Ward 13. Very convenient. The ward's full of secrets. I reckon even Ford himself don't know them all. Okay, so let's go turn the power back on. Oh, really? That doesn't go in there? Darn it. Well, bummer. Was there a door in here somewhere that needed unlocked? Well, there was this door up here, but I don't know if it had a key spot.
Yeah.
Yeah. Alright, what we got? Bloodwort. From Mark Klinger, 7/21/67. An explosion in research knocked out the circuit breaker in the north wing. The ward is running on backup power, but repair crews have been dispatched. Patients remain stable, no major incidents. Main power is restored, but security camera 12 is offline. I sent Smith to check the cabling, and he reported that the lines were fried. I filed a service ticket with maintenance. I'm a little on edge. There was an incident with patient 3323 Clementine last night. She was agitated, like she was having a bad dream. The doctors and nurses were scared. Something about PSK levels being way off the graph. It took 3 orderlies to pin her down. I can't say for sure, but I think I saw a microscope fly off the table and hit one of the orderlies square in the back of the head. No one threw it. The damn thing just shot off the table. The orderly is in the med lab. 27 stitches. It could have been much worse. Much worse. Dreamer 3323 was at it again. This evening started around midnight. The patient was moaning and crying in her sleep. Wasn't long before the crying turned into screaming, and the medical crew rushed to the room. The orderlies could barely keep her down. Never seen anything like it. How does a 13-year-old child have enough strength to take on 3 full-grown men? Doctors were yelling at the nurses to sedate her, but the tranquilizers didn't take effect soon enough. They finally managed to strap on the restraints, but the patient thrashed around so much that she broke her right forearm. Broke her damn arm against the straps. Submachine gun. Look at that. And we have a drop down here. Oh, okay. Well, that's just to come back to here. So I'm still missing something, but I got a new gun. So that's something, I guess. Open the door. Well, we got some exploring done in Ward 13. I don't know if there's anywhere else we can actually go. Maybe we'll have a look around a little bit and see. So I wonder if I can take that key out. Nope, that key is permanently in there. Which makes sense, because why would they let you take that key out? Because that's the only thing that works. That's where we came from. Sorry I smashed your box there, lady. But I'm not really sorry. You guys were doing some shady stuff, and when the crap hit the fan, you got all like, oh, poor pitiful us, oh.
Hey, traveler.
That must be the main door. Alright, well, I think I wrapped up a half hour in this, basically. So I'll go ahead and travel to the other area. Okay, so as you see, I'm here in this labyrinth. I'm gonna go through this one. Try to. But that'll be in the next episode, so I know that might seem a little boring, but I like the backstory, not just about the gameplay. So, if you guys like this video, you know what to do. Hit that like button. If not, you know what else button to hit. If you're not subscribed to the channel, be sure to subscribe. And as always, I will see you in the next one.